Hallo Klasse 9. So if you can't make the live lesson today for Tuesday's lesson, then this video should go through everything that you need to cover to catch up. So it doesn't include all of the things that we'll be doing in the lesson, but everything that you need. So if you find that you've got a bit more time and you'd like to do a bit more consolidation work, my advice is to go on Quizlet and practice the vocab. All right. Firstly then, this is something that I'm going to do in the live lesson as well. It's basically, there are 9 different pictures on the grid and you need to try and say them all. So have a go at saying them, pause the video and then I'll go through what they are. Alright then, so if we go through them, Nummer 1 ist Tennis, Nummer 2 ist Wandern, Nummer 3 ist Volleyball, I think it is. Nummer 4 ist Fußball, Nummer 5 ist Tischtennis, Nummer 6 ist Federball, 7 ist Reiten, 8 ist Rugby, what a German word, und 9 ist Schwimmen. Okay. The first bit of booklet work for today is on page 16, Seite 16, and it's this reading here. It's all about the Nürburgring, which is a racetrack, or I think it's actually made up of lots of different racetracks, and it's in Germany. Okay, it's pretty famous across the world. So if you're into your motorsport, then you probably will know about this already. And so it's quite a challenging text as well. All right, so this is definitely like your A-star kind of level text. If it seems difficult, it's because it is. So I've given you 9 words or phrases here in English, and they're all in the correct order. And what I'd like you to do before you attempt the questions in the booklet is just read through this text, use the English prompts there to help you, and try and pick out where the German is. You haven't got the English written there in your booklet, that's just here on this video. So if I were you, I would highlight or circle the different words and phrases, and then in your booklet maybe draw a little arrow and then write the English in, just so you've got it there as a record, okay? So I'm going to go through what the answers are now. Firstly then, we've got, the first one we need to find is a racetrack. That is actually eine Rennstrecke, all right? The next one we need to look for is the longest, and that is die längste. It's got the A with an umlaut there, so it makes it like an E kind of sound, so längste, not langste. Number 3, with a length of 4.5 kilometers. That luckily the number gives it away for us here. So that's mit einer Länge, another A with an umlaut sound, von 4,5 Kilometer. So in German, instead of having a decimal point, they actually have a comma. So instead of saying like 4.5, they would say 4,5. And the next one is connected. This is probably the most difficult one because it's just one single word. It's actually angebunden. Hopefully that'll help you to work out what's going on there. The word order there is a little bit strange, and you should be getting used to weird word order now in German, hopefully, and hopefully just knowing what that is in English will help you understand the text a bit more. Question 5, from the UK, is aus Großbritannien. Aus is like out of or from. Number 6, they don't actually say in sometimes when they're talking about a certain, if something happened in a certain year, they would just give the year. So that there is there, 1968 war Sieger. So in 1968 he was the winner. Number 7, we've got, so it's despite a broken wrist, and that is trotz eines gebrochenen Handgelenk. Now, this might be my favourite word in German, at least this week. Handgelenk means wrist. And interestingly, well, I think it's kind of interesting anyway, the word for an ankle in German is a Fußgelenk. So it's kind of like a foot link or a hand link. I just think it's so cool that they've kind of divided the body up that way, that you've got your Handgelenk and your Fußgelenk, and it kind of makes them seem a bit similar, which I think is quite nice. And the next one, one kann even, is man kann sogar. Sogar means even. And without a speed limit is ohne, oh, this is another cracking word, Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Literally, that is like speed, well, I guess limit, really. Speed border, speed limit. So, yeah, there we go. There's the vocab for you there. Hopefully, that will help you when it comes to answering the questions. Okay. So the questions are on the screen now, but they're also in your booklet. 6 questions. You need to answer the questions in English. I've actually not said that on the instructions, I normally do. But if the questions are in English, then the answers are usually in English as well. So if you could pause this now, and then I will go through the answers. So Nummer 1, where is the Nürburgring? It says at the start there, der Nürburgring ist eine Rennstrecke in Nordwestdeutschland. So look at this lovely long compound noun again there, isn't it? Nordwestdeutschland, Northwest Germany is the answer. Nummer 2, why is the track remarkable? And I'm guessing, well, I think the best answer really here is the first part of the information about it. Die Nürburgring ist die längste permanente Rennstrecke der Welt. Der Welt is in the world or of the world. So this means it is the longest permanent racetrack in the world. Question 3, which 2 tracks are connected and how long are they? So we saw earlier on that the word for connected is angebunden. And so we need to look here at the different racetracks, the different tracks. So we've got the GP-Strecke, and the GP-Strecke is linked to the Nordschleife. So those are both words for or names for different tracks. Okay, I'm apologising if you are a big motorsport fan and it just sounds like I'm completely murdering your favourite sport. I'm sorry. And hopefully if you have known nothing about motorsport as well, this hopefully makes sense to you. I'm aiming for kind of the middle ground, really. And so how long are they? The GP-Strecke is 20.8 kilometres. No, it's not. Ignore me. The GP-Strecke is the GP track even is 4.5 kilometers, and the Nordschleife is 20.8 kilometers. That's considerably longer. And question 4, what happened in 1968? I mean, actually, across Europe, loads of really important things happened in 1968. It was kind of a really big year in university life, but also just for lots of protests and things, especially in France and in Germany. But actually, it's talking about the text here. So it is talking about when Jackie Stewart, who was... I mean, it's kind of a bit dated now, so I'm guessing you guys may or may not have heard of him. He actually won the World Championship, and it was a particularly difficult race. And so he actually managed to win the race despite having a broken wrist, which sounds pretty awful to me. And so question 5, why do motorsport fans visit Nürburgring? So it says that Touristen und Motorsportfans kommen aus aller Welt, they come from all over the world, die Rennstrecke zu besuchen. So that besuchen there is to visit. So they want to visit it. And then it also says, man kann sogar mit dem Auto die Strecke fahren. And this is answering question 6. So man kann sogar is you can even, mit dem Auto is like by car, die Strecke fahren. Fahren is to travel or to drive. So you can actually drive along the track. And it's also ohne Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung, which we saw earlier on, is without a speed limit. So that's the answer for that one. This task here is going to help you with the next task in the booklet. Okay, so before we go through that following task, I'm going to go through these words with you. These are all different question words, and I'm very aware that usually in our lesson you've got these at the front of the classroom, and they're all on the wall, so it's a bit more helpful for you. But obviously we're not in the classroom right now, so I just wanted to double check that you can kind of work out what these are and then use them for your next task. If you could write these in your book, that'd be brilliant. And then write the German and the English. That'd be really helpful for your future reference, really. I'll go through them in just a second. All right, so the first one is wie viele. Wie we've had before. We've had it in wie alt bist du, which might help you. So wie alt bist du, how old are you? We had it last week actually as well, in wie sportlich bist du, how sporty are you? And so that is actually how many. In welchem Jahr, you've got the word Jahr there, which you hopefully know, and also in, which should give it away. That is actually in which year. Wann, we have seen this, in wann hast du Geburtstag? It's when. And then we've got woher. So we've seen wo before, as in wo wohnst du. Woher is from where, or where from, I guess we could use that as well. Was für is what type of, or just what type. Welche, we've seen a similar word in welchem Jahr, and so it's got the same root. It is actually which. And für welche Mannschaft is for which team. Okay, so they are definitely going to be helpful for you in decoding the next task, which is here. Okay, so it's task J, and this is going to take you probably for the rest of the lesson. You've got 3 different options here. So I was trying to make it as kind of, I don't know, interesting to all of you as possible. And I thought you might not all be interested in football. You may want to find out about a new sport in Germany and that kind of thing. All right. So there's 3 different things here. We've got the Bundesliga, which is like the more traditional kind of German football league. All right. And then we've got the Frauen-Bundesliga, which is the women's German football league. And then we've got the Handball-Bundesliga, which is the handball kind of sporting league in Germany. All right, so choose whichever one you like. The questions are all sort of similar, really. And I'd like you to do some research on this sport. You can do the research in English, because I'm not expecting you to, just type this in German and come up with a load of, really complex sentences and understand them. So do, by all means, search for them in English, but then if you could try, and when you're writing your answers, answer these questions in German, that'd be brilliant. So it'll just give you a bit of practice at forming your German sentences and so on. They don't have to be very complex sentences. You can use the questions as well to help you form some of the answers, okay? If I just go through maybe a couple of questions with you, we'll start with the Bundesliga. The first question there is, wie viele Mannschaften gibt es? So, wie viele, we've just seen is how many. Mannschaften, teams. Gibt es is are there, okay? And so to form that answer then, you could just use gibt es and swap it around. So that becomes es gibt, there are. And then tell me the number of teams that there are in the Bundesliga. Okay, so a lot of the vocab is given to you in the actual questions. I am also imagining that you're going to want to use Pons to try and work out some of this vocab, because it is quite difficult vocab. Okay, I would like this piece of work to be submitted if possible. You will, though, have a bit of time on Thursday so that you can finish this off. So don't feel that you have to submit it today. Thursday's lesson is absolutely fine. And if you do feel that you've run out of time and you haven't got much time to get this done in the way you'd like to, then by all means leave it until Thursday. All right, so that's it for today. And I look forward to marking your work. Danke, tschüss.